Hello. So for my project, I had to complete basically a curriculum of activities for the high performance work teams classes to potentially use in the future. Um, it was a very lengthy project that required a lot of work, but I actually ended up having a little bit of fun with it. So first question, I set out to learn basically how to find activities and connect them to different topics that were required to learn in the class. Doing that was pretty interesting. I actually had to really think about how each activity would address a certain topic and whether or not that activity would work both for an online classroom format and an in-person format. So it was very interesting to have to combine all of those requirements into one activity. The work that was involved in my project was research, research, research. Most of the time, it took me hours to research even one activity. I did not expect that to happen. And even if after I found an activity, I would search the activity on different websites and found myself like finding as much depth to the activity that I could actually find. So research was quite an experience with the project. What I actually learned from my project was basically staying organized. That was actually one of the main things I learned because I had to keep up with several documents about not only the activities but also the topics they addressed and what would have to take place in the activities to make them compatible for both an in-person and online format. So I actually learned a lot from this project. Of all my interns classes, this is my favorite project that I've completed. Um, there were some things that I found beneficial in addition to the original project objectives that I learned. And again, I think that's being organized. I didn't realize just how much organization would have to take place in this. And not only did I stay organized in my head and with all my documents, I even combined all of that at the end of the project and put it into one final document. So organization was definitely an additional learning objective that I had to learn. The hardest part of my project was honestly the research. The research was, I guess hard is not the right word because I'm good at research, but it was annoying and it made it to where I never wanted to do it and because of how much work that it involved. But it was hard, it was lengthy. Although I was able to find websites pretty quickly, again, I had to expand on each of the activities, so that definitely added to the difficulty level for sure. If I were to start over and do anything about this project differently, I think that I would have broken down the pieces of the project even more. So at the beginning, we had our training plan, and then mine even went as far as to establish a timeline of milestones. And so it broke down each part of the project very simple. It's like I knew exactly what I was doing each week, but I would have gone as far as even to do it more so. So I had all these different documents that I needed to combine at the end to create a course curriculum. And I found that I was having to search through so many things, and maybe that if I had broken down, finding the activity, doing each part of the activity, keeping it all even more organized than I already would. I think I would have found it to be a little bit easier, especially towards the end, because towards the end I was going through so many documents and trying to remember all of my thought processes, which eventually I was able to do, but it would have been better had I kept up some notes and just kind of maintained my whole thought processes on a document in which I could view them later. Yeah, so that's what I would do if I were to start over. What surprised me about my project and the experiences while working on it, definitely the amount of organization that was required. Once again, I keep going back to the organization. That was insane, like just how much I learned from that. I'm not an organized person. Generally speaking, I'm not. So that was quite a surprise as to me learning about that. I was also surprised by the amount of research that each activity took. Although I did expect some research. I did not expect the amount of details that I needed, and I didn't expect to have to connect everything together at the end, and how much research that would require to connect everything. Yeah, so that was my project. This was a very valuable experience for me. I was very happy that I had the opportunity to do this project, and I would 100% do it again. Although it was difficult, I actually did enjoy it. And looking back on it, I think this was very valuable, and that it's going to help me in many future projects. And this is my last semester, and I just hope great things for you guys and the future students in your interns classes, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. So